So this video is all about the two special Crow Your Own Flower Monster designs worked in our limited edition heather yarn for summer 2021. So there's two patterns that I'm just going to show you. One is for Annette, the French Lavender, and there's a couple of things I want to show you before I show you how to do these. The first one is that you make these petals separately onto the top of the head, just so you can see those as individuals, but to hold them up in a nice updo, because you don't want them to flop down like this, you want them to be up. What you do in your pattern, you'll see you're making a little support. It's called a petal support, and you're basically tying her a little ponytail. So you then pop that round and that'll keep those petals nice and high. Then let me just show you how you do these lovely motifs that work up the French Lavender. It's one of my favourite flowers at this time of year. There's tons of it in bloom in my garden at the moment. Obviously with the English lavender too, of course, but I thought that this was a really nice colour to work that flower in. So when we're doing these, what we're going to do, slip stitch into the neckline of your colour change like that, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what you need to do is slip stitch into the head like that. Then chain 5 back down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch back into the bottom base where you set off. And that's just creating a little kind of framework for you to do the other stitches on. Now, if you've made Jane the Pangolin, you'll have done this technique before, because it's effectively like making scales. It's like a crocodile stitch. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're actually going to treble 7 into this gap here. So you've got your 2 chains that you've just done and slip stitched on. We're going to treble 7 around this chain here. So yarn over and in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then chain 2, and as you do that, turn it around, because we're then going to actually do it round the other one. So we chain 2, that's to create the top of the shape, and then we're going to treble 8 into this hole here, back down the other side. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then you slip stitch into the bottom again, and that creates that lovely shape like that. So let me just slip stitch into the bottom, and then you need to break your yarn to work your next one. And what you're going to do is work 4 of them and 4 rows around the head. So once you've done one, what you then do is do the next one, but set off from within that one, because that will make that look really attractive. Is if you set off within the one that's below, they'll interlock. So put your hook in there, and then chain your 5 again to create that base to do your next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and then slip stitch in up here, and then do your 5 back down, and then you repeat those trebles on either side as I did before. And what that will do is create those gorgeous interlocked scales, which is a really lovely texture to work up the head of Annette, the French Lavender. Then the other design to show you is Carleton, the heather, named after the moor that we, a moor up in Yorkshire that we see a lot of heather on. So here you're going to be making lots of these individual blooms, the heather flowers and petals. But that would be an absolute pain to sew on. So making 37 of those and sewing them on individually, none of us need that. So instead I've come up with a nice little trick that will attach them all on with no sewing up. So what you need to do is you use your green, or make all your petals first and sew all your ends in. so you've not got any ends at all. Then using your green, you slip stitch in and you chain in between each one. So let me show you what I mean. So you chain like that, then put your hook in through the bottom of the petal piece that you've made, slip stitch that on so that that's firmly attached, and then chain again. So go in like that, and then chain again. Go through the bottom of the petal like that, and then slip stitch that into the head like that. And that means that you're not going to have to sew all of them on individually. You just got this chain line that runs up the side of the head and actually attaches them all on separately. And then you work 6 rounds of those around the head. So that's how you fill in his head with those lovely petals on the edge of them. I do hope that helps with those of you that have bought your kit to make these gorgeous designs. As I've said, this is a limited edition blend. It's a very different blend of fleeces to our normal yarns. It includes alpaca and some other British native breeds in there as well. It really is to celebrate the summer. Nancy the bee, of course, bees absolutely love these 2 flowers, well, all flowers that are purple as well. So we thought it was only fitting to make sure that Nancy had some lovely flowers to go with her.